It is 6 p.m. in Bulai in the Lomanjerem division of the East region of Cameroon, same time in Douala, Cameroon's economic capital city. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the primetime newscast on Equinoxe television. With me, I'm Sean Sander. Amid shadows of repression, Cameroon's post-electoral crackdown sparks international outcry. In the dark shadows of the presidential election in Cameroon, the international community, that is International Human Rights Watch, is increasing in the context of a disputed presidential election. Cameroon government's response mixed with arrest and seen as plunging the Cameroonian nation into a deepening crisis of human rights abuses. The international community is sounding an alarm, with Human Rights Watch condemning the deepening patterns of repression that has left dozens dead and hundreds detained in the wake of President Paul Biya's disputed re-election. Human Rights Watch says 48,000 or rather 48 persons were killed in Cameroon during the nationwide protest demonstration. In a figurative presentation, Cameroon's Minister of Territorial Administration, Paula Tangaji, says some 829 persons, including 36 minors and 26 women, are currently detained after the post-electoral unrest. This and more will be yours in this edition of the news. Thanks for choosing to be informed by Equinoxe Television. You're on to the primetime newscast. We told you we live from Douala, Cameroon's economic capital city. Now, on to our top story. Human Rights Watch has denounced all acts of violence resulting from the post-electoral unrest in the nation Cameroon, the arrest and continuous detention of protesters in the country. In their most recent outing, the International Rights Group declared that about 45 persons were killed and about 312 persons arrested. The International Human Rights Group called for an immediate release and for the Cameroonian authorities to launch an investigation and justice to serve those whose family members were killed unjustly. We have details with Malak Glory.
The International Human Rights Group revealed that 48 people were killed during the protests in Cameroon following the October 12 presidential elections. About 312 people arrested and detained since October 26, with 154 yet to be presented before a judge. Among those detained in Yaoundé, at least 6 are being held at the State Defense Secretariat. And reacting to this, the senior Africa researcher at Human Rights Watch, Ilaria Aligrozi, said the violent crackdown on protesters and ordinary citizens across Cameroon lays bare a deepening pattern of repression that cast a dark cloud over the election. The authorities should immediately rein in, investigate and prosecute responsible security forces, and all political leaders should call on their supporters to reject violence. The situation remains tense, with the opposition leader Issa Chiroma Bakari issuing a 48-hour ultimatum to the authorities to release detained protesters. The International Human Rights Group also urged the government to release victims of the post-electoral violence. Aligrozi furthers that the Cameroonian authorities should immediately release all those held in connection with peaceful protest or for peaceful expression of opposition to the government. Anyone committing violence should be appropriately charged with their due process rights fully respected, including their rights to bail and to a prompt and fair trial with an effective defense. Human Rights Watch calls for an end to violence and to respect for human rights and urges the international community to pressure Cameroonian authorities to ensure accountability and protect civilians.
And in the course of this newscast, we shall be bringing you figures presented by Cameroon's Minister of Territorial Administration, Paula Tangaji, who is in Cameroon's economic capital city, Douala. Paula Tangaji in Douala today indicated that over 800 persons have been arrested, including women and minors. But just before that, we take you to the situation in Nous, a town in the Donga Mountain division of the northwest region of Cameroon, where the mayor of Nous Council has sent out a distress call with the alarming rates of insecurity in his area of command as the major subject. He He says that that security situation has cost the lives of 2 persons already in his area within the space of less than 2 days. In a media release, Abdul Kanfon Bono called for local authorities to help capture those perpetrators of insecurity and those targeting and killing individuals of Nous in what he says is an urgent community dialogue. We have details with Simat Njikan Gabriel.
The mayor of Nous Council, a municipality in Dongamantum division of the Northwest region, cries for help at the alarming rate of insecurity in his zone of jurisdiction. In a media release, Abdul Kamfom Bono says he is disturbed by the upsurge of crimes in his locality. It all began with the killing of Isiaka Gianta, the market master of the Nous main market, as he returned to Nous from Wowo. As if that wasn't enough, it was the Cameroon Baptist Convention's clergyman, Pastor Njo Desmond, who was brutally assassinated on his way back to Nshi-Odo by a group of unidentified gunmen. The church wasn't off the incident. Another CBC field pastor, Reverend T. Peter, was attacked and injured on his arm. The serial killings in Nous has caused an uneasy calm in the municipality, which has been quiet for a while. In the media release, Mayor Abdul Kamfom Bono is pleading with the powers that be to help fish out the perpetrators, and the mayor says it is high time for the living forces of Nous to engage in community dialogue, as suggested by the head of state in his inaugural speech last November 6, 2025.
And from Nous, we take you to the northern regions of Cameroon, this time around to the middle belt. That's in the Adamawa region. A devastating fire incident has ravaged Har, a village of the region, leaving 1 person dead and at least 5 others severely wounded, currently hospitalized. The blaze, according to local reports, was sparked by a 12-wheel truck transporting fuel, which overturned due to poor road condition, causing a massive leak and subsequent fire incident. The driver was unfortunately trapped in his seat, tragically burnt to death. We have details with Sadiq Chakuchu.
Houses almost reduced to arches, shops, fields and consumed crops. This is the consequences of violent fire that left 1 dead and at least 5 injured in Ha, a village located in Buea subdivision, about 60 kilometers from Gaoundéré in the Adamawa region. At the origin of this incident is a truck with 12 wheels coming from Gaourua to Gaoundéré carrying fuel and overturned because of the poor state of the road, causing fuel to leak before catching fire. The driver, stuck in his seat, was burnt by the flames, which immediately propagated to neighboring shops. Beyond the material losses, many essential documents have been destroyed. In this village in the Adamawa region, the absence of firefighters nearby increases the worries of the inhabitants.
From the Adamawa region, we come back to the southern parts of Cameroon, this time around to Buea in the Fako division, where residents of Ewunda village in Buea subdivision say that they are upset after the divisional officer visited to resolve a boundary dispute many say does not exist, while some Ewunda residents boycotted the visit of the senior administrator to the site. Others from Lower Ewunda participated, blaming some outsiders for tearing the village apart for unscrupulous reasons. The divisional officer and his team have also held the ground that both sides must seek a peaceful resolution to an issue that is tearing the community apart. We have details with Rex Hafon in Buea.
These are the people of Ewunda village in the Buea subdivision. They are unhappy with the fact that the divisional officer for Buea, Abba Abdurrahman, has visited their area to settle a boundary dispute they say they don't have.
I personally wrote the petition to the head of state. That petition was not about the boundary issue. Lower Ewunda used to exist as a quarter under Ewunda village. I can tell you, to the best of my knowledge, that we have 3 quarters in this village. We have Iname, Namuka, and Lower Ewunda, which is known in Bakwa as Ewunda.
The visit of the divisional officer follows this letter, dated November 5th, which summons the people of Ewunda and Lower Ewunda for the settlement of a boundary dispute.
This commission has come that they want us to show the boundary between Ewunda and Lower Ewunda. We are very, very surprised about it. They have boycotted any locals because they have never been submitted to any procedure that has to do with the hearing or adjudication or submissions of their complaints before the administration. So they are even surprised to have seen the GO here today.
For those of Lower Ewunda, they say some settlers in Ewunda who do not have legitimate ownership are the ones causing the troubles.
The chairman for the village,
the chairman of the Ewunda village who wanted to take part in the visit of the commission was held back. Most of those who held him back are settlers, and those settlers are causing a lot of confusion.
And those settlers already did for that place, now they cause a lot of confusion.
They who followed the divisional commission to the field say the problem with Ewunda has been solved. For now, the boundary issues we had with Ewunda has been solved. We have Bonduma, Buea Town, Bokwai and Bova left. The deal will give us a date when we will go for the settlement. Though these sentiments are not shared by those of Ewunda, the divisional officer for Buea and members of his commission have listened to both parties on ground.
And on to something else, according to Juniper research, the spectre of financial crimes is expected to cost around some $345 billion by 2027 for payment fraud losses alone. The regulation burden are legendary. According to experts, the shifting goalposts of fintech regulation are causing havoc within this industry. However, fintech companies must manage financial crimes to optimize their position in the competitive market. We have details with Babila Jonathan, who had an opportunity to speak to some experts in the economic capital city, Douala, today.
Imagine waking up one day to find your bank account drained.
Financial technology fintech firms are prime targets for cyber criminals due to the sensitive nature of the financial data they handle. Cyber crimes like phishing, malware, ransomware, and distributed denial of service attacks are rampant. Via the ransomware technique, for instance, large amounts of money are extorted from individuals and organizations by encrypting or otherwise blocking access to applications or files on a computer system until a sum of money is paid.
Huge volumes in terms of money and data are involved in fintech business. We need to be sure that the transactions, even their platforms, are authenticated.
These threats can disrupt services and compromise customer data and intellectual property.
If a user is not authenticated appropriately and gains access to the platform, he can access some other person's account and extract money from an account which does not belong to him.
How would you feel if you had to lose 10 million francs online? That's how bad it is, actually. There's a lot of money that can be lost. Beyond just saying that people can be stolen from, lives can be completely jeopardized.
The National Agency for Information and Communication Technologies, widely known by its French language acronym ANTIC, and other stakeholders are stepping up efforts to tackle the security threat in the financial sector. These fintech experts and fintech firm promoters are meeting in the 7th edition of Digitized Cameroon in Douala, an event that seeks to converge expertise, skills, and knowledge to ensure financial transaction security.
So the objective of this conference is to find a platform where the regulators and the fintech entrepreneurs can talk about what works for both parties. It's essential that it works for both.
All fintech companies have to be audited. They have to be audited. We have to, in the course of the audit, we identify vulnerabilities inherent in their information systems and make proposals as to what they need to do to correct those identified vulnerabilities to ensure that their systems are safe and secure.
They are working in order to keep going faster than the threat.
And now the main road in Lendi in the Douala 5 municipality is in a disturbing state of despair. The stretch is now marked by numerous potholes, some of which have made circulation extremely difficult for local inhabitants, also making social and economic activities difficult. Local inhabitants are calling on municipal authorities of the Douala 5 to see into the situation of the road linking Lendi to the rest of the city of Douala. Immaculate Fogwe has more in the following report.
Welcome to Lendi, a neighborhood found in the Douala 5 subdivision. The road for the past years has been deplorable, making circulation difficult for road users. The crunch of gravel and the splash of water beneath tires serves as a constant reminder of the road's perilous state. While navigating the stretch, drivers are on high alert, eyes fixed on the road, trying not to damage their vehicles. However, the unfortunate ones are forced to visit a mechanic workshop on a daily basis. It's not just drivers, as pedestrians are struggling too, dodging potholes and praying they don't slip and fall.
C'est vraiment pénible.
It is really difficult driving on this stretch with these huge potholes. In a month, if I don't visit a mechanic workshop, it should be at least 3 times. It's really stressful for us.
C'est très compliqué pour nous.
Our vehicles are suffering. This road has destroyed 3 of my vehicles. We have really lost hope. About 2 road construction companies were expected to begin work on this stretch, but till now, nothing concrete has begun. We have really been abandoned by the government. Due to its poor state, businesses are suffering, customers are staying away, and it's getting harder and harder for people to make ends meet. The economy is taking a hit, and it's not just the road that is suffering, it's the people too. Business has really been affected because of this road. Customers don't even come and buy from us. It's really discouraging. How do we cope in this difficult economy? Despite the evident distress, the road remains a vital lifeline for the community who call Lendi a home. The population is pleading that their roads be fixed so as to relieve them from the stress and suffering faced on a daily basis.
And now they say health is wealth. In health, pneumologies or pneumonia remains a major health concern in Cameroon, affecting children below 5 but also adults, as Cameroon joins the rest of the world today to commemorate the World Pneumonia Day. A pneumologist at the Douala General Hospital emphasizes the need for early detection and vaccination of children. What then are the causes, risk factors, and preventive measures of pneumonia? Our health reporter Esie Lucy Liengo spoke with Professor Mbachu Hogo, a pneumologist, and compiled the following report.
Pneumonia is a pathology that is rarely talked about, yet, according to reports, it is the leading cause of death among children in Cameroon and adults, with over 1 million deaths recorded each year.
When you have inhaled a microorganism and it goes into the lungs and develop there, you may have then pneumonia.
At the Douala General Hospital, pulmonologist Professor Bachu Higo says the situation is alarming.
Among the adults, we have about 30% of patients that we receive who suffer of pneumonia. In children, it is more frequent. It's one of the most frequent infectious conditions.
The infectious disease is often caused by bacteria and viruses present in the air, while several factors increase vulnerability.
Chronic diseases like diabetes, like chronic heart diseases, chronic respiratory diseases like asthma, children of less than 5 years or elder population of more than 65 years. Also, chronic smokers and consumers of alcohol.
Health experts warn that the symptoms of pneumonia are common and can easily be mistaken for other respiratory infections.
It's fever, which is the main symptom. Then you have cough and chest pain. And when the condition is a little bit increasing or moving forward, you may have difficulty in breathing. Patient can also complain of fatigue or loss of appetite.
Each year, on November 12, the international community observes the World Pneumonia Day, a day dedicated to raising awareness about the disease and promoting strategies to reduce its mortality rate.
First thing is vaccination, and we are happy that the Ministry of Health has included vaccination against pneumonia. Luckily, pneumonia is a disease that we can diagnose easily and is also treated. When someone presents the symptoms made of fever, cough, chest pain, they should consult immediately. In pneumonia, if the diagnosis is done late, we may face complications that lead to reanimation and even to death.
Doctors also recommend regular physical activity and balanced diet to strengthen the immune system.
Yes, you got it right. A CLUC a health lady was talking there to a pulmonologist, Dr. Ngahan Hugo Brice. You listen there to him. He's talking from the Douala General Hospital. Now, without a transition, we take you directly to health, to sport, to say that 24 hours to the semi-final match of the Confederation of African Football CAF and FIFA World Cup qualifier games between the indomitable Lions of Cameroon and the Leopards of the Democratic Republic of Congo. The head coach of the indomitable Lions is facing an injury crisis within his squad. McBreeze will have to do without the regular Andre Onana at the goal and Eric Maxime Choupo-Moting due to injuries. The situation, which as sport analyst Nkede Lawrence has described as pathetic, though hopeful that better replacements could be adopted by coach McBreeze. We have details with Simat Njikan Gabriel.
McBreeze, for the first time since he took up duties as head coach of the indomitable Lions, faces a problem of adaptability as he will miss out on the services of 3 key players ahead of the crucial FIFA World Cup playoffs clash against the Leopards of the Democratic Republic of Congo. Zambo Anguissa recently named Serie A Player of the Month Eric Maxime Choupo-Moting, who had a knock during training, and Danilo Masso, who couldn't make it, is a setback as Andre Onana remains under observation.
It's going to be a tougher game for Cameroon, and I think it's going to be a big headache for McBreeze because these absences will really impact the morale of the team and equally galvanize the opponent, because the opponent knows that they know the value of Choupo-Moting, especially they know the value of Frank Zambo Anguissa, who was...
Many Cameroonians now believe that in the absence of these players, particularly Zambo Anguissa, at the midfield, it will be a huge problem for the team. But are there some good players who can fill the void?
I believe behind players like Achuavom, Hongla will have to come in for his physicality. I mean, these are players who are available, and I think it's high time for Carlos Baleba to get back to his real level with the indomitable Lions. He will be he will be needed in this game extensively. Jean Onana too is making his comeback. These are players who can play defensively and offensively at the level of the midfield.
It will be the 10th confrontation between Cameroon and the Democratic Republic of Congo in a FIFA World Cup qualifiers, with Cameroon dominating the Democratic Republic of Congo with 4 against 3 wins and a draw. If Cameroon has participated in many FIFA World Cup final rounds, the Democratic Republic of Congo's last appearance at the FIFA World Cup was in 1974 when West Germany hosted the tournament. Cameroon versus DR Congo will be played 8 p.m. Cameroon time at the El Barid Stadium, Rabat, Morocco.
And that's all for the first part. Coming up is Talking Point. Still for us. Thanks for joining us on Talking Points. Tonight we are receiving Dr. Ngu Santos. He is a Cameroonian-born psychologist based in the United States of America, with him, we're going to be analyzing the post-electoral crisis in Cameroon, but also the massive arrest and the impact on economic activities, social activities, especially education, with most children involved, as you got there from some statistics. Now, we have seen children killed, some arrested and detained in post-electoral unrest in Cameroon. In Garwa, a teacher was killed, and a family head also killed in the economic capital city, Douala. The whereabouts their children remains a problem. Others too are requesting that fabulous sums be given in order to take care of their children's well-being and their education. Now, we get into you directly as a psychologist. How do affected families deal with all this?
Good day, good day. My name, Dr. Nicholas Ngusanto. I also go by Honorable Dr. Nicholas Ngusanto because I had a Lifetime Achievement Award from the U.S. President. We are in a general state of psychopathy, which means the lack of sympathy, a lack of remorse, and the exhibition of a grandiose style, sense of self-worth, and manipulation being used by deceitful political actors. Because it is very doubtful and very challenging or very, very tough to understand that the vulnerable population that needs to be protected in moments of a catastrophe or disaster are instead being used by the political actors as a shield to manifest their wickedness. I mean, when you talk about people killed in the post-electoral violence, some detained, a teacher shot and killed in Garwa, a family head killed in Douala, children incarcerated. This is just a manifestation of what has been within us. Because what is happening in the French-speaking regions of Cameroon under the guise of post-electoral violence is what the people in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon have been living through. Yeah, we have seen how children have been killed, like in Gabu, the Gabu massacre. We have seen a lot of people ambushed, kidnapped, and executed in a guillotine style. We've seen a lot of things that have taken place. We've seen the military also burning houses, as well as civilians also have burnt or destroyed property. Yeah, so I would say that the family members have been coping with it uneasily, and it's just one misery after another misery, because they keep burying the dead, wiping their tears, and going back to bury other deaths. So I think it has been an uneasy coping for all those who have been involved and all those who are victims of such. So it's a pity. It's a pity that is happening again and again under the guise of post-electoral violence, while that in the northwest and southwest is still going on. And also the Boko Haram attack in the north has not yet also completely gone away.
Thank you again, Dr. Ngu Santos. Now, what become of these children, some of whom are being incarcerated, like are getting into detention for their very first time, unable to be located by their family members and loved ones, also their health and other issues linked to their well-being? We got the case of the Litwa region where the governor said that their medical care will be taken charge of by themselves or their family members.
I would say that from a psychological standpoint, children who have been detained for the first time do obviously undergo trauma and stress. And it's not also advisable for their brain development because they suffer some setback. Behavioral issues will kick in, mental health problems if unaddressed, social ills, because while there they learn a lot of negative attitudes or negative behaviors. It will not puzzle you that in most of those jails, some of the officials have taken it as a trait to sell marijuana and sell tramadol to these people. It's a business trade because they don't find these chemicals or these drugs do not make their way into the jails on their own. This is a lucrative business for some, and it will puzzle you that the authorities are involved in this business. And so if children come in contact with such Indian hemp and other drugs, that's how they will lead a very unproductive life, because coupled with mental health issues like what they have undergone, the trauma and the stress. You know, when you undergo trauma, it's for the present moment, but where after that it becomes post-trauma. And then you see the turn to systematically remain in the judicial system in future, which means they keep coming back. So I would not advise that in a war situation or any situation, children should be abducted or put in confinement, because that only makes them become harder. You know, children that do undergo a very difficult and challenging upbringing, for example, who are being used canes and whips, or who are being beaten, that hardens their heart and makes them in future to become like tyrants, and also copy the same style to manifest in society over others. They keep on, they exhibit characteristics like fighting, nonchalant behaviors, recalcitrant behaviors, and other behaviors which are not good for the society. So it's very, very unadvisable for children to be locked up in whatever circumstance. So I would say that this is a very bad situation. It's a bad habit which was passed over to the children to become very unproductive later in life. Thank you.
Yeah, Dr. Ngo Santos, unfortunately we're caught up by time. We're not going to be having the opportunity to analyze beyond the psychological impact on those who've been arrested and detained, especially the minors, but also know that it's having a devastating impact on the society, the economy too, and the education of these children. Now, we shall be discussing that subsequently in news editions on Equinoxe Television. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all for the Primetime Newscast. We thank you for your keen attention, urging you to stay in the company of interesting programs on Equinoxe. See you tomorrow at the same time.